When we say that a person may be meant for you, we are not speaking of fate in a romantic or mystical sense, but of psychological significance. Certain encounters feel charged because they activate layers of the unconscious that ordinary interactions do not reach. You may notice that this person evokes emotions that are disproportionate to the time you have known them. They may inspire hope, fear, resistance, admiration, or even discomfort in ways that surprise you. This intensity is often a sign that something deeper is being stirred. The psyche recognizes patterns long before the rational mind constructs explanations. Such a connection can function as a mirror, reflecting both your strengths and your unfinished inner work. Walking away too quickly may feel like self-protection, yet it can also be an avoidance of self-discovery. Instead of asking only whether this person fits your expectations, it may be wiser to ask what this encounter is revealing about you. Are you being invited to grow beyond familiar defenses? Are you confronting fears of vulnerability or rejection that have quietly shaped your past choices? Meaningful relationships rarely arrive in a perfectly comfortable form. They challenge the ego and unsettle established routines. The discomfort you feel may not indicate that the connection is wrong, but that it is transformative. Before you decide to leave, pause and observe your reactions with honesty. Growth often begins at the precise point where you feel tempted to retreat. In the early stages of a meaningful connection, projection quietly shapes perception. We do not see the other person as they fully are. Instead, we overlay them with our inner images, expectations, and unresolved longings. You may believe you have found someone extraordinary, or conversely, you may fear they will eventually disappoint you. In both cases, what you are responding to is partly your own inner world. This is not a flaw, but a natural function of the psyche. The challenge arises when the projection begins to dissolve. The other person shows ordinary traits, imperfections, limits, and contradictions. At this point, many choose to withdraw, mistaking the loss of fantasy for the loss of meaning. Yet this is precisely where authenticity begins. If you remain present through this transition, you move from illusion into reality. You begin to know the person as a separate individual rather than as a carrier of your dreams or fears. This shift requires maturity. It asks you to reclaim what you projected and to recognize your own hidden desires, insecurities, and ideals. Instead of blaming the other for failing to match your imagined picture, you turn inward and examine the source of that image. Such reflection transforms attraction into awareness. It deepens connection because it removes distortion. Walking away at the moment when projection fades may feel like clarity, but it can also be avoidance. Staying with awareness allows love to evolve from enchantment into conscious choice, grounded not in illusion, but in understanding. Every meaningful relationship carries within it the possibility of individuation, the gradual process through which a person becomes psychologically whole. When someone enters your life and stirs deep emotion, it is often because they are activating aspects of yourself that have remained dormant or unexamined. You may discover new strengths in their presence, or confront insecurities you thought were long resolved. This is not accidental. The psyche seeks balance, and it often uses close bonds as instruments of growth. Conflict, disagreement, and misunderstanding are not necessarily signs that something is wrong. They can be signals that two inner worlds are meeting honestly. If you choose to remain and reflect rather than withdraw, you gain insight into your patterns of defense, attachment, and expectation. The other person becomes a living mirror, showing you both your light and your shadow. Individuation does not occur in isolation. It unfolds in relationship, where real feedback replaces self-created narratives. Walking away too soon may preserve comfort, but it can interrupt the deeper work of becoming more conscious. Growth in connection requires responsibility for your reactions and the willingness to see beyond surface impressions. When you stay present through difficulty, you strengthen your capacity for integration. The bond then becomes more than companionship. It becomes a path toward greater self-awareness, emotional maturity, and inner balance. Fear of vulnerability often disguises itself as logic. When a connection begins to deepen, the ego searches for reasons to step back. You may focus on small differences, minor uncertainties, or imagined future problems. These concerns can appear rational, yet beneath them there is frequently a quieter anxiety. To care deeply about another person is to risk disappointment, rejection, or loss. The instinct to protect oneself is natural, but it can also become a barrier to meaningful growth. Emotional walls may provide temporary safety, yet they prevent genuine intimacy. When you feel the urge to withdraw, it is useful to pause and ask what you are truly afraid of. Are you protecting your well-being, or are you avoiding the discomfort of being seen clearly? Vulnerability exposes both strength and fragility. It requires honesty about needs, boundaries, and imperfections. This honesty can feel unsettling because it removes the illusion of control. However, without it, relationships remain superficial and guarded. If someone consistently invites you toward openness, reflection, and responsibility, that invitation deserves careful consideration. Walking away too quickly may not be an act of wisdom, but an unconscious retreat from growth. Courage in connection does not mean ignoring genuine warning signs. It means distinguishing between intuition and fear. When fear is acknowledged rather than obeyed, you gain the freedom to choose consciously. Staying present despite uncertainty can lead to deeper trust, stronger self-awareness, and a more authentic bond. At certain moments in life, a connection appears at a time that feels strangely precise. You may meet someone during a period of transition, uncertainty, or personal questioning. Their presence seems to align with an inner shift already taking place within you. Such timing can create the sense that the encounter carries meaning beyond coincidence. While it is wise to remain grounded and realistic, it is also important not to dismiss the psychological significance of timing. When a person enters your life during a crucial phase of growth, they may serve as a catalyst. Their perspective, support, or even their challenges can accelerate changes that were already forming beneath the surface. The feeling of recognition you experience may arise because they resonate with a part of your developing identity. Walking away too soon may interrupt this process before you fully understand its purpose. Rather than asking whether the meeting was destined, consider what it is activating within you. Does it encourage maturity, responsibility, and reflection? Does it push you to reconsider old habits or limiting beliefs? Meaningful encounters often coincide with readiness for transformation. If you leave at the first sign of uncertainty, you may avoid discomfort, but you may also step away from an important chapter in your personal development. Patience allows you to observe whether the connection deepens in clarity and integrity over time. When approached with awareness rather than fantasy, such timely meetings can become powerful turning points in your inner journey. In every close relationship, the shadow inevitably emerges. The shadow represents those qualities within us that we have denied, suppressed, or failed to develop. When another person displays traits that irritate, unsettle, or strongly attract us, it is often because they reflect aspects of our own hidden nature. You may judge them for being overly emotional, distant, controlling, or uncertain, yet these reactions can reveal unexamined parts of yourself. The instinctive response is to distance yourself from what feels uncomfortable. However, withdrawing at this stage may prevent an important psychological integration. The tension you experience is not always a sign of incompatibility. Sometimes it is an invitation to deeper awareness. By observing your reactions honestly, you begin to understand where your judgments originate. Are they rooted in past experiences, unmet needs, or rigid self-expectations? When you choose to remain engaged with awareness, conflict can transform into insight. You learn to separate genuine boundaries from defensive impulses. The other person, in turn, may also confront their own shadow through interaction with you. This mutual process requires patience and accountability. It asks both individuals to move beyond blame and toward reflection. Walking away too soon may preserve comfort, but it can also leave the shadow untouched and unchanged. Staying with conscious intention allows the relationship to become a space of integration where hidden parts are acknowledged and gradually harmonized. Through this process, connection matures into something more stable and authentic, grounded not in perfection but in understanding and growth. Patience is one of the most overlooked virtues in the development of a meaningful bond. In a culture that values immediate clarity and quick decisions, uncertainty can feel intolerable. When doubts arise, the impulse is often to end the connection rather than explore it. Yet depth does not reveal itself in haste. A relationship unfolds gradually, layer by layer, through shared experiences, honest conversations, and the steady observation of character. Early intensity can be misleading, just as early hesitation can be misunderstood. What truly matters is consistency over time. Patience allows you to distinguish between temporary confusion and fundamental incompatibility. It gives space for misunderstandings to be clarified and for trust to develop naturally. Without this space, you risk making decisions based on fleeting emotions rather than grounded understanding. Remaining present does not mean ignoring clear warning signs or compromising your values. It means giving the connection sufficient time to show its true nature. Through patience, you observe how the other person handles conflict, responsibility, and vulnerability. You also become aware of your own reactions and patterns. This reflective process strengthens emotional maturity. Walking away too soon may protect you from uncertainty, but it can also prevent the emergence of something stable and meaningful. When patience is combined with awareness and honest communication, a relationship has the opportunity to move beyond surface attraction into deeper alignment. Time becomes an ally, revealing whether the connection is rooted in genuine compatibility and shared growth rather than temporary emotion. The decision to stay or to leave should arise from inner clarity rather than impulse. When emotions are intense, perception can become distorted by fear, excitement, or past experience. It is important to pause and examine your motives with honesty. Are you considering leaving because the connection truly conflicts with your values and well-being, or because it challenges familiar patterns? Discernment requires self-awareness. It asks you to separate intuition from anxiety and genuine incompatibility from discomfort with growth. Walking away too soon may feel decisive, yet it can sometimes be a reaction to unresolved inner tension. On the other hand, staying without reflection can lead to self-neglect. The balance lies in conscious evaluation. Observe whether the relationship encourages responsibility, mutual respect, and emotional development. Notice whether communication deepens over time or remains shallow and evasive. A meaningful bond should not demand that you abandon your identity, but it may ask you to refine it. Inner clarity develops through reflection, conversation, and time. When you act from this clarity, your decision carries stability rather than regret. If you choose to remain, you do so with intention and commitment. If you choose to leave, you do so with understanding rather than avoidance. The essential task is not simply to preserve a connection or to end it quickly, but to ensure that your choice aligns with your deeper values and authentic self. In this way, whether you stay or go, the experience contributes to your continued growth and self-knowledge. A meaningful connection often reshapes your sense of identity in subtle but lasting ways. When someone truly touches the deeper layers of your psyche, you begin to see yourself differently. You may notice shifts in your priorities, your emotional responses, or even your long-held beliefs about relationships. This transformation can feel unsettling because identity provides a sense of stability. When it begins to change, uncertainty naturally follows. The temptation at this stage is to retreat in order to preserve the familiar version of yourself. Yet growth frequently requires the revision of self-image. If a person consistently inspires you to reflect, to mature, and to confront patterns that no longer serve you, their presence may be contributing to your psychological evolution. This does not mean losing yourself in another. It means allowing the encounter to refine your understanding of who you are becoming. Walking away too soon may freeze you in an outdated self-concept. Remaining with awareness, however, can help you integrate new strengths and insights. Over time, you may recognize that the relationship did not merely add someone to your life, but expanded your internal landscape. Even if the connection eventually changes form, the transformation it initiated can remain. The key is to engage consciously rather than react defensively. When you allow identity to evolve through thoughtful connection, you move closer to authenticity. In this way, the question is not only whether this person is meant for you, but whether this experience is shaping you into a more complete and self-aware individual. Trust is the foundation upon which any meaningful connection must grow. It is not given lightly, nor does it emerge instantly. It develops gradually through repeated demonstration of integrity, honesty, and consistency. When someone enters your life in a way that feels significant, there is often a subtle sense that they are trustworthy, even before all evidence has appeared. This sense is not purely intuitive. It reflects a perception of alignment between their actions, words, and presence. However, true trust is strengthened when both individuals navigate challenges together. Misunderstandings, disappointments, and conflicts are inevitable, but the way these moments are handled reveals the reliability and character of each person. Trust requires observation, patience, and conscious engagement. It is not blind faith, but a deliberate choice to remain open while remaining discerning. Walking away too soon may feel safe, yet it can prevent the development of this essential foundation. By staying present and noticing how integrity is enacted over time, you gain clarity on the depth and stability of the connection. Trust also demands vulnerability, the willingness to show parts of yourself that are imperfect, uncertain, or tender. This willingness is a reciprocal process. When one person shows vulnerability and it is met with respect and understanding, trust deepens. Conversely, withdrawal at the first discomfort may interrupt this process, leaving the connection shallow and unrealized. Cultivating trust transforms interaction from superficial engagement into meaningful partnership. It allows both individuals to experience security, authenticity, and a sense of shared responsibility. In relationships of significance, trust becomes the medium through which growth, reflection, and mutual support flourish. By observing, reflecting, and choosing consciously to stay engaged, you participate actively in its creation. Ultimately, the decision to remain in a relationship is not only about emotional attraction or convenience. It is about recognizing the potential for enduring trust, which enables both people to evolve individually and collectively. Walking away prematurely risks losing not only the other person but also the opportunity to witness the unfolding of integrity and connection that only time and patience can reveal. Communication forms the subtle architecture of any meaningful connection. Words alone are insufficient. How we express ourselves, listen, and respond shapes the depth of understanding between two people. A person who enters your life and resonates deeply may challenge you to express thoughts and feelings you have long kept hidden, or to hear perspectives that differ from your habitual assumptions. True communication requires more than speaking and hearing. It involves presence, empathy, and the willingness to engage honestly with discomfort. Misunderstandings are natural, and moments of tension often reveal underlying needs, expectations, or insecurities. Walking away too soon at the first sign of difficulty may prevent both individuals from experiencing the clarity and insight that come from persistent, thoughtful dialogue. Engaging with another in conversation provides opportunities to explore motives, clarify intentions, and recognize patterns of thought and behavior that might otherwise remain unconscious. Over time, these exchanges build not only mutual understanding, but also emotional intimacy and trust. Communication also involves observing nonverbal cues, the tone of voice, and the energy one brings to interaction. These subtleties often carry more meaning than words alone, providing insight into emotional states and unspoken concerns. A relationship that encourages open, reflective, and compassionate communication fosters growth in both participants. It allows each person to confront assumptions, acknowledge vulnerability, and cultivate patience. Choosing to remain engaged through moments of miscommunication or uncertainty is a demonstration of commitment to the process of understanding and integration. It transforms superficial connection into a space of psychological resonance, where each individual is seen and heard authentically. Walking away prematurely may feel protective, but it can cut short opportunities for meaningful exchange and insight. True connection requires time, attention, and conscious effort. By remaining attentive to how you both communicate, you gain the ability to navigate challenges with greater clarity and integrity. In this way, the quality of communication becomes both the medium and measure of a bond's significance, revealing whether the connection has the potential to deepen, endure, and contribute to mutual self-awareness. Emotional presence is the invisible thread that weaves depth into any meaningful relationship. It is more than shared experiences or mutual interest. It is the conscious choice to be fully aware of your own feelings while remaining attuned to the emotional states of another. When someone resonates deeply within your life, they often draw forth reactions and reflections that are unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Emotional presence requires that you acknowledge these responses without judgment and resist the impulse to flee when intensity rises. Walking away too soon may offer immediate relief, but it prevents the development of deeper understanding, empathy, and authentic connection. Being present emotionally involves noticing subtle shifts in mood, energy, and tone, both in yourself and in the other person. It is a continuous practice of awareness, patience, and reflection. Through this practice, difficult moments transform into opportunities for growth as both participants learn to navigate vulnerability, disappointment, and uncertainty with integrity. Emotional presence also fosters a sense of safety. When someone senses that their feelings are recognized and respected, it allows them to engage more openly and honestly. Conversely, avoiding emotional engagement can create distance, misunderstanding, and missed opportunities for mutual development. Remaining attentive to emotional currents encourages the cultivation of empathy, insight, and responsiveness. These qualities strengthen trust, deepen intimacy, and enable both individuals to participate actively in each other's growth. It also teaches resilience, as challenges are faced consciously rather than ignored or avoided. Practicing emotional presence is not passive. It demands effort, reflection, and commitment. It asks you to recognize the difference between temporary discomfort and signals that require thoughtful attention. By staying with the feelings that arise, you allow the relationship to evolve naturally rather than allowing fear, impatience, or misinterpretation to dictate choices. In the long term, emotional presence ensures that connection becomes a space where growth, understanding, and authenticity are continuously reinforced. Walking away prematurely, on the other hand, may prevent not only the unfolding of this bond, but also the personal insights and inner development that the relationship was uniquely positioned to stimulate. Ultimately, the decision to remain engaged emotionally determines whether the connection fulfills its potential to enrich both individuals' awareness, maturity, and capacity for authentic human experience. Boundaries are an essential component of any healthy and meaningful connection. They define the space in which both individuals can engage authentically while maintaining self-respect and personal integrity. When someone enters your life and resonates deeply, it can be tempting to blur these limits in the excitement of closeness or the intensity of emotional connection. Yet without clear boundaries, the relationship risks confusion, resentment, or emotional exhaustion. Understanding your own needs, limits, and non-negotiables allows you to engage fully without losing yourself in the process. Walking away too soon may feel protective, but neglecting boundaries can lead to deeper issues later on. Boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines for respectful interaction and mutual growth. They teach both participants how to navigate differences, manage expectations, and honor individuality. Setting and maintaining boundaries requires self-awareness and courage. It asks you to recognize when you are overextending yourself, accommodating too much, or sacrificing essential values in the name of connection. Simultaneously, it encourages you to respect the other person's limits and to communicate openly about needs and expectations. Through this process, the relationship can develop clarity, trust, and stability. Boundaries also allow space for reflection and discernment, enabling both individuals to observe patterns of behavior, emotional responses, and compatibility over time. They provide a framework for patience, as clear limits prevent reactive decisions based on fleeting emotions. Emotional and psychological safety emerges when boundaries are mutually recognized, fostering an environment where vulnerability, authenticity, and growth can flourish. Walking away without engaging these practices may provide immediate relief, but can also prevent the development of a sustainable, mature connection. When boundaries are thoughtfully applied, the relationship has the opportunity to balance closeness and individuality, challenge and support, intimacy and autonomy. In essence, they serve as a compass, guiding both participants through the complexities of human interaction while preserving self-respect and integrity. By attending consciously to boundaries, you create the conditions for a connection that is not only meaningful in the present, but also sustainable and enriching for the future. This mindful practice ensures that choices to stay or leave are made from clarity, intention, and awareness, rather than impulse, fear, or avoidance. Gratitude can transform the way we experience meaningful connections, yet it is often overlooked in the midst of emotional intensity or expectation. When someone enters your life and resonates deeply, it is easy to focus on what is missing, on fears, doubts, or imagined future challenges. Gratitude, however, invites us to pause and recognize the presence, effort, and positive qualities of the other person. This practice does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that problems do not exist. Rather, it shifts attention toward acknowledgement and appreciation, which strengthens emotional bonds and cultivates patience. Walking away too soon can be influenced by a focus on dissatisfaction or discomfort, whereas conscious recognition of what is valuable allows you to see the relationship more holistically. Gratitude also encourages reflection on the ways in which the encounter fosters personal growth. By noticing the lessons, support, and insights the other person brings, you gain clarity about why the connection matters and how it contributes to your development. This awareness